Whoa. What's this?
It's that new smoker, baby.
Is that new Broil King they brought over?
Yeah,
At the
just got
restaurant?
it assembled.
Wowee. Mikey, I like it. Ooh, mama. All right, we better get a video going of this right away. Let's dive into this puppy. Hey guys, it's Trevor with Embers Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Today we got a fun new review for you. This is the new Broil King pellet smoker. There's 4 options available. This is the top dog, top of the line model. So we're going to tell you all the features that you get with this and then explain the differences between the models as we break this down. As always, make sure you subscribe to our channel. It helps out our channel a ton. And of course, any useful links of product we're using in this video, anything like that, we'll include in the description down below if you're interested in any of that stuff, along with purchasing this grill. Again, all that will be in the description. So let's break this down. This is gonna be the Regal. This is gonna be their largest size. They also have the Baron, which is gonna be, they're more of their base grade model. So we sort of have the base grade entry level and then the upgraded model. Both of them come in a small and a large. This one's the large. So I have to say, when our rep was trying to get this product into our showroom here, I kind of was giving a little pushback because I'm like, you know what, we already have so many stinking pellet smokers. This is just another copycat that we're going to be dealing with here. And you know, I wasn't too excited. I was just like, the pellet industry is starting to get a little bit redundant. So I wasn't super crazy about the idea, but now that we have it assembled and I played around with it a bit, it's actually a really awesome smoker, and I'm gonna tell you why. So let's start with the cosmetics and the outside of the grill first, then we'll get into functionality and get underneath the hood and talk about some of the features there. So you can see it's a fairly low-key, clean line type grill. It does have like a nice powder coat finish. It is only available in a black color. But overall, just nice clean lines, you know, nothing fancy going on. You are gonna get this bottom shelf standard, and that's gonna be available on both options. And then we only have the 2 wheels, but they're pretty heavy duty casters. You can see they're pretty thick, so they look pretty attractive. And then we have some leg levelers here, which is kind of nice. So if you're putting this in an area where you're not level, that's kind of nice to be able to level that off as well. On the upgraded model, which is this one, you are going to get this side shelf standard. If you do the base grade model, you're not going to get a side shelf. It's just going to have a handle for lifting it over here. And then we also get this chimney stack here. Now what's kind of neat is I haven't really seen this on too many pellet smokers where this is adjustable, where we can choke the air off. I don't know how big of a difference that would make in particular, but it's there if you ever want to mess around with it and try it. So that's kind of cool. On the smaller, or the base grade unit, I should say, the Baron, you do not get the chimney stack. So you're missing, aesthetically, you're missing the side shelf and the chimney stack. So that's really what you miss on the outside of the grill with the base grade model. Of course, inside you're gonna lose some features too. And then let's start with this control panel. So you can see this is a pretty unique control panel. And I actually really like it because the dials are big, easy to use, and they're very intuitive. So let's plug this grill in so we can show you how to use the control panel, because some of the other Wi-Fi smokers that are out there, there's a Wi-Fi by the way, and it does have an app control. Some of the other brands, their Wi-Fi controls they're so reliant on Wi-Fi controls that the control panel basically doesn't have anything to it. But if you're older or you don't particularly like using all of that stuff on your phone, this is kind of nice, because in line with using it on your phone, you have a nice intuitive control panel here that's really easy to use if your phone's not handy. Also too, I failed to mention, if you're interested in how this is gonna stack up compared to some of our other pellet smokers, we're gonna do a versus video. So you can check this out in a side-by-side review. I think it's gonna perform pretty well because, like I said, there's a lot to like about it and we haven't even gotten under the hood yet. So let's plug this in and see what this control panel is gonna do for us. Okay, so we turn the smoker on, so you can see the fans running, and it is in Bluetooth mode. And then I've turned everything on my app here, so I can turn this up. I just turned it up to, it goes up all the way to 600 degrees. So I'm controlling everything here. And then if you want to dial it back, you can do it manually as well. So that's kind of a neat little feature. So here's 3 quick buttons if you wanted little shortcuts. So this is smoke, roast, and grill. So when we're in smoke mode, it's going to set it to 225 automatically. That's all you have to do to press that button. Roast takes it up to 350, and then smoke turns you all the way up to 600. And then we can manually adjust our dial to whatever we want here as well. So I really like the control panel because we get nice big clear buttons. We have a couple cool little shortcuts, and this little temperature gauge setting is pretty easy to read. It does come with 2 probes, so we can plug our probes into here and then connect it to our meat so we can see our meat temperatures, as well as you can also put it on a timer. Again, this seems like a little thing, but I love that I have full controllability with both. And I'm not sacrificing anything either way. I can just as easily go out on my deck and use everything here, or I can control everything right from the app. So all in all, I really like their control panel setup. Okay, so that's about it on the outside of the grill. There are a couple cool little features on the back we'll show you here. It does have a little thing for your power cord, so you can wrap up your cords out of the way. Again, that's a really small thing, but kind of nice. And then of course it does have a hopper clean out, like most pellet smokers do. If you want to change your flavor of pellets, you can do that right on the back of the grill. All right, let's get under the hood, because this is where this grill really starts to separate itself from the competition. Let's get inside here. So when I started working on this grill, I noticed right away, the second you lift it up, this was different, because it's a really, really heavy hood. And so the hood is double lined and insulated, and then we have a full gasket material all the way around the hood. So that's really important, because especially in colder climates, or if you're trying to cook in the winter time, it's gonna really hold temp really well. You see some of the reviews we've done with other pellet smokers that have this sort of feature. It definitely makes a big difference, because a lot of your heat wants to escape through the hood. This is definitely gonna help retain and hold heat. Now this is probably the most unique thing. Oh, we failed to mention, on the base grade model, you don't get this double lined hood. It's just gonna be a base grade single style hood. So this is probably the most unique feature that I've ever seen in a pellet smoker. I've never really seen this before. And that this thing has a rotisserie kit. So you can see we have our spit rod here. Now you can take this out, here's our motor, and then you can plug this hole if you're not using the rotisserie kit. It seems like a really cool feature. I kind of have mixed feelings about it though, because there's no direct flame here, because we're using convection smoke. So really our temperature up in here is probably going to be about the same here. So I don't really know the purpose of rotating everything, because there's not really a hot spot on pellet smokers. The only thing I can think of is if you took the smoke shield out, which we'll show you, is then you'd have maybe a direct fire over the burn pot. And then also it keeps your food off of your cooking grates. So if you didn't want any char marks or anything like that, I could see where that would come in handy. On the base grade model, this is not a feature. So you only get the rotisserie when you upgrade to this particular model. So again, I don't know how I feel about it. It's definitely cool. I'm not sure how much of it is really more of a gimmick or a marketing technique versus actually being a cool functioning tool. So only time will tell. We'll have to actually cook on it and see what we're dealing with here. But of course, a huge upgrade inside this grill is going to be cast iron cooking grates. Now, I haven't really seen a lot of smokers out there that come standard with cast iron cooking grates. You can upgrade those a lot as with an accessory. But the fact that these come standard is really stinking cool, because as you know, pellet smokers don't really get all that hot. And so by adding cast iron cooking grates that are gonna retain heat, that's gonna allow us to use this a lot more like a grill, while still minimizing the reduction of flare-ups. So we're not gonna really have a lot of flare-ups, but these cast iron grates are gonna get hot enough where you can really use this puppy like a regular grill. So let's take these out so I can show them to you here. So definitely heavy duty, more heavy duty than I've seen in most cooking grates. Looks like you can flip them over and reverse them. So they're pointed here. And so these high points are gonna help with sear marks. And then also you can flip them and they're sort of have little pockets. Now what's nice about little pockets like that is they can fill up with juices and then help retain some of the moisture within the pellet smoker itself. So definitely a big feature. So let's take these out. We'll show you the smoke or the smoke shelf in here. So there's two flanges, one on each end. So essentially what that's gonna do is you can see that this is gonna angle down. What's nice is it's gonna basically funnel and force all of your grease into this middle tray here, which we'll take that out and show this to you. Okay, so here's our tray in here. So this does a couple things. One is this stops direct flame from going right on your meat, and then our smoke's gonna bellow around this here. But what else is really nice is the way that this is angled, it's gonna work in conjunction with this guy. And so essentially all of our drippings are gonna force into this one hole here. So it's basically gonna work like a slide, like this. Now that's really nice is long term, you're not gonna get buildup on this because we're gonna get a ton of buildup on this guy. And if you get too much buildup on this, that's what's gonna create grease fires. So the fact that this is gonna be able to divert away into this chamber, I really think it's a well-designed system that's gonna keep grease away, and that's really the goal. Okay, and then we have a little housing here that's gonna actually sit over our burn pot. I'll show you some close-ups of our actual burn pot here. Okay, so now we're down to the burn pot. So essentially it's gonna work pretty much just like every other pellet smoker. We have our hopper here. It's gonna feed pellets down in the middle of the burn pot with an igniter. Gonna start a fire right in the middle. Our smoke's gonna go up and bellow. Now, one of the biggest problems with burn pots is that there's air or a fan blowing oxygen into the burn pot. After a while, you get too much ash buildup, and then that creates airflow problems. Now, essentially, to get rid of that, what you have to do is what we just did. Take the whole thing apart and then shop back out the inside. This has a really cool feature, which I'm really excited about. So I'm excited to see if this feature works. So essentially what you're gonna do is we'll show you a close-up in here, but there's a clean out specifically for the ash pan. So this is gonna be your ash clean out box in here. And then what you can do is you can use this tool here. And when you slide it to the left, it's like a little agitator where it's gonna drop the ash down into the burn pot. Now I wanna test this out. So I'm gonna go out to our pellet smoker outside, grab some ash, throw some in here, and see how well it's actually gonna clean it out. Okay, so essentially when you're burning a pellet smoker, this is sort of what you end up with. You end up with some whole pellets sometimes that drop through, and then a bunch of ash. So let's fill this up with some ash in here. And I want to see how well it actually cleans itself out. So you can see we got a nice, pretty thick layer of ash in there. Let's try to empty it out and see what happens. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. That pretty much emptied out all of the ash and dropped it into the burn pot. Now for me, that's a huge deal. That's a winner, because there's nothing more annoying than your burn pot filling up and getting dirty if you're in the middle of a long cook and then you start getting finicky. So when that airflow gets clogged, what happens is your temperature is going to start fluctuating because it can't get proper airflow. With a system like this, if you have a brisket on for 10 hours, you can just go over with your tool, quick hit it, and put it back in the setting, clean out your burn pot, and you should be up and rolling. On a regular smoker or another pellet smoker, if you're in the middle of a brisket, you're done. You're stuck with whatever situation you burn pots in because everything's hot. You can't take everything apart unless you turn it off and let it cool down. So for me, that's a big win. I think that's a really cool reason why you would look at one of these smokers, is the functionality standpoint. So that's pretty much the features. Again, there's a lot of nice upgrades with this grill, a lot to like about it. I don't think that this is just another product, another way for a company to make a quick dollar. You can tell that this smoker is well thought out, it's well designed. I'm gonna go through the run-throughs on a couple of things that to me really stood out why you would consider this smoker. The biggest thing is going to be functionality. There's two things I think that really make this grill stand out from the rest. Cast iron cooking grates and the ability to clean out a burn pot easily from the outside of the grill. Those two things are gonna really make your cooking experience better, because all these other things are fun. All the bells and whistles on smokers are definitely fun, but we're about cooking or improving cooking experience. If this equipment can help you improve your cooking experience, that's when it's really worth the upgrade, in my opinion, is when you change cooking experience. So that does that. Cast iron cooking grates are definitely gonna do that. They're gonna give you the ability to grill and sear up to 600 degrees while not compromising the ability of grease fires. And then two, to be able to clean up your burn pot really easy. That's really important. And then a couple other features, which are just little bonuses that are kind of fun. We get the Wi-Fi controls, big temperature controls, easy to read, easy to use. That's a plus. Rotisserie, and on the fence about it. Can't hurt, throw it in, right? Might as well try it. I don't think I'm a huge fan of it, but like I said, I'm not mad that it's in there, so might as well give it a go. And then of course, the double lined hood is also a big feature. So I meant to summarize this and then I just turned it into a whole nother long video. So if you're interested in any of our other pellet smokers, you can always call our text or staff. We're in the Denver metro area. Come down to our showroom, see these products in person for yourself. Again, if you want to see this compared to other smokers, check out the link down below for a review, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks so much, guys.